Inca Inc. Number 4, declaration of interest. Any councillor wants to declare? Okay, none. Number 5, there no confirmation of minutes. Number 6, statements and communication. Executive Mayor, do you have? Thank you, Executive Mayor. Either myself, I don't. Councillors will then go to either there are no presentations, we'll go through the order of business. Are you ready, Tanya?
Starting with section 1 of the municipal appointment of an acting director for corporate services for the period February 2024 until 31st April 2024, starting at page 8.
Councillors, the item is carrying. Councillor A, Michelle?
Thank you, Chair. I think this Tanya was she was here on this item. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I propose that we go with the recommendation on the basis that we can just change the recommendation number 2 to an acting of 1 month, not 3 months. On that basis, where do we go?
Is going to be acting there.
It's Tanya, Mr. Steve Lemon.
Any other? Councillor Kamka?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I just want a bit more clarity on point number 3, how far that process is. Was Councillor Mitchell also now recommended that the acting period be shortened for 1 month? So I'm not sure whether that is also got to do with process, the process and recommendation number 3 that would be concluded by before the 3 months.
Oh, no, wait.
Thanks, Speaker. Thanks, Speaker.
You don't have to switch it on, Amen, it's fine.
Thanks, Speaker. With regard to the latter question, process, I'm expecting to receive the report from the consultant that was appointed. He indicated that I'm going to get it this week initially. So I have not received, but they then said definitely by end of this week. So then I'm then write a report to cancel the agenda for February. I have to prepare the item after I receive them. Just on the proposal, you just have to look at it very carefully because the acting concurrence that was given by the MEC for Tanya was for 3 months. The concurrence was rejected for all other directors which exceeded 3 months. However, myself and Tanya, was a technicality in terms of when she acted first and when the item that came to council actually gave her 3 months to act from November, December, January. But there was a gap of 1 month that my concern is just that the acting that was sent to the MEC was for November, December, January. And it was an error with the previous item where her acting supposed to have been the first 3 months by council, but it was actually the first 2 months by council, not 3 months. So might just have a technicality that we'll have to explain. I would ask the speaker to provide Alan those council resolution.
Councillor Mhlanga.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. We take note of the advice from the municipal manager, and that the process of recruitment continues as it continued, and he has to give a report from the consultant. Being that said, I support name of Tanya Veldeman to act for 1 month while we are still busy trying to sort our house.
Chair, if you don't mind, maybe just have this. This is a letter that came from it gave concurrence for November, December, and January. That's what I'm saying. I'm just concerned that there might be a challenge of exceeding that 3 months of the month. Myself and Diana did speak about the matter already last week, and realized that this item that went to council in October. Because Alan, you acted up until September, né? Then Tanya acted October, November, but when this item was so I'm just letting you in terms of that. That's small technicality. Otherwise, we might have to record it in minutes that our previous resolution was an error, was supposed to carry for first 3 months by council, which is October, November, or September, October, November, and then acting is supposed to have been December, January, and February. So I would rather recommend that recommendation be changed to highlight that initial acting was supposed to be December, January, February. And in that way, then we don't appoint her for acting for 1 month. Then we just inform the MEC that there was an error, and then we correcting that acting supposed to be December, January, February instead of November. First 3 months is the appointment of council. You don't need a concurrence of the MEC.
Yeah.
In this regard, with the information we're now getting, can we have our caucus, please? 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes.
Let me take this opportunity of saying we are thinking, Speaker, of changing our recommendations that were there due to from the information that we get were led by the MA. So the first recommendation that we wanted to say is that it's probably from ONN that there was a error of the times that the land was supposed to. So we therefore ask that let it be extended up to February. So we take and presume that there was no time that there was no acting director, so to say. And secondly, the second recommendation is to say if we haven't yet started the communication with the NEC to rectify the error of the communication that was there and the time, let ONN continue to write to the NEC in response. Those were the two recommendations we cut from, changing those that were there.
Amen.
No. I just read the first recommendation. From the first recommendation, it's very clear. Yes, that council resolved to appoint Tanya for 2 months, not for 3 months. So it was a decision of council. So without that information that I gave, I'd be challenged because council resolved. So MEC will look and say your first resolution, you decided on 2 months, not 3 months. And subsequently, when that 2 months lapsed, then did the 3 months, which the MEC gave approval for. So, Alan, I don't know, can give the legal manager to quickly whether it's going to be accepted as an error now or not in the first 3 months.
Perhaps?
Mr. Speaker, I think there's going to be a challenge. These two resolutions were taken 2 months apart. How are we going to explain if it's challenged that the first one was a mistake and both were properly considered, proposed and seconded? So I think it's going to be a challenge. MEC might say, look, your recommendation, your resolution stand as it is written, and I cannot see the mistake in it. Might argue that, and then you're going to be in trouble. Because the act is clear. And if you look at the case of, and I think the MEC cited the case as part of the annexure, nice no matter. The court made it now clear you can only extend an acting period for 1 period, 3 months, for the permission of the MEC. MEC cannot continuously give permission. So that leaves us in a bit of a quandary. I think we in very muddy waters, might be challenged. The worst that will happen is what happened in Neisner. The expenses will be declared irregular and recoverable, and the people who receive that, whatever amount, will have to pay it back. I note that councillors are saying it's just going to be for 1 month, but I think we need to, whoever is going to act, it's just going to be fair that that person is properly advised of the dangers of having to pay that money back. Should the MEC challenge us, and I think that he will. It's for God, he's going to challenge us because he's going to tell us. I've sent you a letter, explained it very clearly. You have the letter in your possession, and yet you still made a decision to appoint somebody who I cannot extend that acting period. That's my advice. Speaker, is that we really look at the provisions of Section 56, which does make provision that somebody else can act. Who I've acted, and these councillors, all due respect, don't consider me, but there are other managers within the corporate section that can be appointed if we ask the MEC in terms of Section 56.6 to waive some of the requirements for that acting person. Because at the moment, there's only 2 people in the section. So, yeah, they can act and have the qualifications and the so-called experience, myself and Ms. Alderman. But others can also be given an opportunity if application is made. So, but it's a decision of council. So those are the dangers, Mr. Speaker, is that we might be challenged.
No, I hear you. And it's so unfortunate that you are getting this information now.
Yeah.
Ours was that directorate was on autopilot. You see, that is why we came rushing to council. You see, let me give Councillor Kamkam.
Speaker, there was the recommendations was on the screen. I just saw something on the recommendations. Maybe I read wrong. Can you just show the recommendations again, please? Not the previous one that you had on the screen.
The resolution.
The resolutions, yeah, sorry, resolutions, the previous one. You see there on the recommendation number 2, there's even a mistake there. 1st November 2023 to 30th November 2023. Shouldn't see it in the okay here. Yeah, it's becoming a bit confusing now. Because that recommendation says from the 1st of November, I understand now to the 30th of, yeah, so it wasn't supposed to be from the 1st of December to February. I don't know. Was this the last recommendation that we took? So then it means that the resolution already, I mean, she already stopped acting in November.
No, it's
No.
Oh, in
January.
It was
The first 2 months is cancelled and you don't need permission of.
Oh, okay, I hear what you're saying.
The second one is where you need.
Permission. Yeah.
It was granted.
So we have the.
Councillor?
Thank you, Speaker. This suggestion, we need, so Tanya's period of acting ended 31st of January. We've got a council meeting, I think on the 25th of this month. Why don't we then just for this month appoint someone else to act and in the interim get clarity from the MEC's office, and it can be done initially in a telephone form. And then if we find we can extend Tanya's acting because of the errors that there are, we can then do it on the 25th of February. And if not, we can then reconsider someone else. Because we're not going to solve anything in discussion yet. But maybe we'll just look at then putting someone in place for the month, done for file of the MEC, and move forward from there.
Councillor Mflan?
Yeah, thanks, Speaker. I think we want to request for another 10 minutes caucus, please.
Sorry?
10 minutes caucus.
Okay, how many minutes?
10.
All right.
The MEC then.
Was the list of the benefits?
Is it also?
Is it?
Thank you for the time provided.
Wait, Councillor Mangalo. Let's start with the councillor that asked for caucus first.
Yeah, Speaker, thank you very much. It's been a norm in this council that if there is a vacancy and there are officials that are required to act, we will be provided with a list of possible candidates within that department. That has been a norm. Further, we would have been finished with their service. So we request that the administration through UMM provide us with the list of names from that department who qualify to act, whether we are going to request for waiver from the MEC. We request those names so that we are able to take a decision in this regard. Thank you, Speaker.
Amen.
Thanks, Speaker. The information can be immediately provided in that Directorate of Corporate Services. The following people have NQF level 7 qualification, which is a requirement: Tanya Wilderman, Alan Krauts, Andy Lenamtu. And there is also Thames Matelezi. However, he has NGF level 6. It is there on that qualification verification report but done. Gavin Gracer also does not have NGF level 7. So the three people that meet the requirements to act, it's Andy Lenamdu,
Something.
Speaker, I will then request those names that were mentioned with NGF level 7 to recuse themselves from this meeting so that we are able to take a decision if they are here.
Okay, Councillor Mangalo.
Thank you, Speaker. We are sitting with the situation, Speaker. However, we are not really in the woods. If you really captured what actually was in space. However, let it be the last time it happens that we come and sit in council and we are not guided accordingly. We have employed solid officials who actually met the requirements to actually be where they're sitting. How we actually come into council and we discuss such matters without having to have proper guidance is unbecoming, and especially because they actually the public is actually watching. Now, beyond that, moving along, it's clear that Ellen is actually not interested. Now, one other person that actually meets the requirements that is a rightful candidate for the acting is Andy Lenamdu. Now, obviously, the extension that we wanted was just, or the acting rather that we wanted was only for a month. So I would suggest his name that he be acting for this current month. We can't be moving on autopilot, municipality. I mean, we've come so far to actually drop it now. So I would also add that in the interim, the accounting officer actually do as mandated, that he actually communicate with the MEC with regards to possible concurrence or anything else that was shared, and especially what was shared by Councillor Dave Swartz. Beyond that, that is where I am sitting.
Right.
I will second the proposal.
Councillor Michelle seconds the proposal that Andy Lenamdu be appointed as an acting director of corporate services for the period of 1 month. That's it, councillors. Amen.
Want the council to reconsider the issue of one. Because even if we bring the process in February of the candidates that went through the process, if council in that process decide to appoint, that person will still have to issue at 1 month notice. So, unless we bring another item in February, just following that one, we can leave this. Then what we do, bring that report, we make a decision, then we bring another item and make a decision at that time as to whether we extend and as acting. So we can leave it. Yes, in terms of-
Yes,
Ideally, the reason why we actually raised just a month is that we are quite aware that Andile has not acted in this role, meaning there's actually no need for a application for compliance. Meaning after when we actually receive the report, we can actually make a meaningful decision whether or not to extend or to employ.
all right. Councillors, I believe that there is a process that yet to be finalized about the two directorates. As the MM was saying here now that there will be a report coming. It will come to council. Then we will then be able to take those decisions there. For now, because of this directorate had no one, we called this special meeting for the purpose of filling in just for 1 month. It was our thing to do in this meeting. So I think we agree that Andile Namtu has been appointed as an acting directorate for corporate services for a period of 1 month. Subsequently to that, then therefore, then recommendation number 2 falls away. Recommendation number 2 falls away. That the council take note, that is recommendation number 3. Now I'm reading recommendation number 3. That council take note that the recruitment process of a permanent director of corporate services is still underway. That is what I was explaining, councillors, that it is going to come back to council and then council will deal with that. Now, ours was just to do temporary measures because the directorate had no one. I believe that you caught that. Thank you so much. Next item. Oh, we didn't even call them.
Interesting.
Sorry.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it is. It is. We were only short of calling all those that were recused themselves.
Short.
Sit down. Right, officials academy. Just mentioned that Mr. Andile Namtu has been appointed as an acting director of corporate services for a period of 1 month. Thank you. Next item.
Sorry, Mrs.
Right, no, it's fine.
Section 2, no item. Section 3, corporate services. Item C, stroke 3, stroke 162, stroke 02, stroke 24. Recomposition of portfolio committees, section 80 committees, starting on page 15.
The item is serving. Gentlemen,
Speaker. Opposition is as follows. All chairpersons has been identified. Portfolio 1, chairperson under engineering services and community service is Councillor Tembela Mhlana. His composition will exist as follows. Serving with him, Councillor Olivier, Councillor Swartz, and Councillor Mangaba. That's the councillors that will serve in the portfolio of engineering services and community services. Composition number 2, portfolio finance and corporate services would consist of a chairperson, Councillor Mitchell, who is the chairperson, and his composition will consist of the following councillors, Councillor Mangaba, Councillor Busakwe, and Councillor Nell. Third composition of strategic services and office of the municipal manager. The chairperson there would be Councillor Polwabe, and the composition would consist of Councillor Olafir, Councillor Mangaba, and Councillor Kamka. That is how the portfolios is recommended, Speaker. So therefore,
Councillor Ngai.
oh, and council will allow MPEC will consist Councillor Sethi. Serving with Councillor Sethi as the chairperson would be Councillor Deiswar, Councillor Mangaba, and Councillor Dai. With that then, I propose that we move.
second,
Speaker, I second as proposed.
all right. I think yes, you've captured that well.
Yes.
All right.
Well.
Thank you very much. Councillors, that only our 2 items of this special council meeting. I'm going to number 9. On number 8, items for information, none. Number 9, noting of outstanding or partial resolution of council, none. 10, consideration of reports, non-delegated matters.
We just dealt with that item.
Okay. Number 11, urgent matters submitted by municipal manager, none received. Consideration of notices of motion, none received. Considerations of notices of question, none received. Consideration of motions of exigency, none received. In committee matters, confirmation of minutes in committee, none. Consideration of in committee reports, non-delegated matters, none. Number 16, then therefore councillors must record themselves as present.
Councillor Blanche present.
Councillor Kolapi present.
Councillor Mhlana present.
Councillor Mitchell present.
Councillor Sethi present.
Councillor Olivier present.
Councillor Ndai present.
Councillor Kamkom present.
Councillor Nell present.
Councillor Busakwe present.
Councillor Swart present.
Councillor Samkele Alonga Lamla Mangaba present.
And myself, Councillor Kabai, present. Councillors, thank you very much. The meeting is closed.
Speaker. That's just perfect.
It's the thing. See.
Okay, Oklamdano over special. Oh, okay.
I'm good, are we? And after this, ban.
Say, yeah,